Welcome back, everyone, to the Bears Profit Plays podcast here on our YouTube channel. Today is January 6th, and we have another guest picker for tonight's show. Joining Trey, Teats, and myself, we have Cambo, who is actually one of our new writers on our website, bearsprofitplays.com. Cam, you have anything you want to say to the people before we get started?
Yeah, I'd like to point out that I only have one loss on all articles written on Bears Profit Plays.
Yeah.
And the Raiders did me dirty last week. No. They did me dirty. I did not think Stidham was going to go out there and torch the best defense in the league, but he did, and we'll move on.
Yeah, I mean, you can't predict that. That was such a great game.
No, you can't.
Good for Jared Stidham, but I will say, Cam, you have your work cut out for you because last week the guest picker went 8-3 on his picks. That was Blake, 5-2 on game picks and 3-1 on prop picks. If anyone watching this is interested in becoming a guest picker, reach out to us and we can see if we can make that happen in the future. We'd love to talk with some of the Bear Pack members, but let's get into the show for tonight. Pack show. We have 6 NFL games, 2 for Saturday with player props, 4 on Sunday with player props. We have Dog of the Weekend and the Parlay lock to finish the show. So let's get into Saturday's action, and we will start with the Chiefs versus the Raiders. Chiefs are -9.5. Over under is 52.5. Trey, let's start with you.
Yeah, this is a pretty good segue with Cam just, crying about how my Raiders, gave him his sole loss. So shout out to my Raiders. Jared Stidham, and yes, Jared Stidham, to be a very competent NFL quarterback last week in his first career start against the San Francisco 49ers, best defense in the NFL. But on the other hand, we also know that the Kansas City Chiefs love to kick the shit out of the Raiders. Like whenever the Raiders were putting up their stadium, there was a Chiefs fan on the building crew, and he buried a flag right underneath the stadium. So that's kind of haunting me in every Chiefs game that the Raiders host. But I do expect the Raiders to keep fighting in this game. I do expect them to want to win this game and finish the season strong. So I'm going to go Raiders plus 9.5 here. The trends are very good. I could have literally written down 20 trends for this game, but I only limited myself to 6, and I still feel like that's too much. The Raiders are 4-0 ATS in their last 4 versus AFC West. The Chiefs are 0-6 ATS in their last 6 versus AFC West. The Raiders are 5-1 ATS in their last 6 home games. The Chiefs are 0-4 ATS in their last 4 road games. Then the Raiders are 6-0 ATS versus a team with a winning record, while the Chiefs are 2-13-1 ATS versus a team with a losing record. Completely different trends, so that's giving me the Raiders. I love siding with my team, so give me Raiders plus 9.5.
Yeah, Trey, before we move on, a couple people in the chat right here. Shane, what's up, man? And then Jew says, Jew Bittencourt says 2 a.m. back in Europe, and I'm watching. Thanks for watching, man. 2 a.m. Go to bed. What are you doing? But I'll go ahead and go next for this game. Cam said it. Jared Stidham, that Trey says, last week against 49ers. What a game he had. The only trend that really matters here is the Chiefs can't cover the spread. 4-11-1 against the spread this season. The Raiders looked great last week against the best defense in the league. Divisional game, big-time rivals. I'm taking the points. Cam?
Yeah, I mean, I can't say anything that's not been said already. The Chiefs can't cover to save their lives. And I'm a big Chiefs fan. I'm also a realist when it comes to them, though. So I'm all over Raiders plus 9.5. I think Stidham's going to light us up. But, Chiefs always like to keep it somewhat close. So,
Teats?
I'm going to take the over on this one. I can't do it to my Chiefs, dude. The Chiefs have been awful at covering the spread, but they have been pretty good at winning football games. And being a Chiefs fan, I have to loathe the Raiders just a little bit. And the fact that Jared Stidham has done such a great job, I feel like this has to be a high-scoring game. So I'm going to go with the over of 52.5.
I'm actually happy you didn't take the Raiders, so we avoid that sweep for everybody. But let's move on to the next game. A huge game on Saturday. Winner goes to the playoffs. Titans versus Jaguars. Jaguars -6.5. Over under is 40. Cam, I'll start with you.
If you're going to want my pick from this game, Bear, you're going to have to go to bearsprofitplays.com, sign up to be a member. My pick on that game and article will be there.
I love it. Trey?
Yeah, the Titans are massive underdogs in this matchup at plus 6.5. And it's kind of funny that we all forget they were the AFC's #1 seed last year. The Titans rested everybody last week, everybody and their mom that was important. So they've been preparing for this game for over 2 weeks. Mike Vrabel is a hell of a coach. And they have Derrick Henry coming out of the backfield. Derrick Henry owns the Jags. He's going to be up in that owner's box, whenever he's not on the field. In his last 7 games versus the Jags, guys, listen to me on this one. He is averaging 141 rushing yards per game, 6.6 yards per carry, and almost 2 touchdowns per game over the last 7 games. That's a huge sample size. And the Jags, I feel like, I know Bear calls the Eagles the biggest frauds in the NFL. I think that might be the Jags at this point. Their last 2 wins have been against Davis Mills and Jeff Driscoll and the Texans, and Zach Wilson with Chris Strevler coming out of the backfield on Thursday Night Football against the Jets. So they are, everyone's big dogs right now. Everyone loves the Jets, but let's just remember that they have been playing very doo-doo teams. So give me the Titans here plus 6.5 in a good matchup. I don't know if they'll win this game, but I think that they will keep it close. They've been game planning for the past 2 weeks about how they will defeat the Jaguars. The Titans are 5-1-1 ATS in their last 7 road games. The Titans are 4-1 ATS in their last 5 games in Jacksonville. And the Titans are 8-3 ATS in their last 11 games overall against the Jags. Titans own Jags. Give me Titans.
All right, Trey, I'm going to go opposite here. Like you said, it's a monster line for the Jags, minus 6.5, and I love it. T-Law and Doug Marrone are doing it in Jacksonville right now. They have figured it out the perfect time this season. It's a win-and-in game for them. I love their chances. Titans have been dreadful last 5 weeks. And let's not forget, Jaguars beat the Cowboys at Dallas in overtime. So, I mean, that's a really good opponent. So, I'm going to take the Jags minus 6.5 in this game. Teats?
I'm going back with the points on this one with the over 39.5. I just think that over 39.5, that number is just way too low for almost most NFL football games. I don't care who's in the backfield or who's under center for the Tennessee Titans this upcoming week. Malik Willis, Josh Dobbs, it doesn't matter. I mean, if it's Dobbs, it might actually be better, but it doesn't really matter. Derrick Henry is an absolute monster, and the Jaguars' offense has been rolling pretty well. So I feel like they're going to have to trade back and forth. And if Derrick Henry gets his 2 touchdowns, I guarantee you they'll have at least 2 or 3 field goals. That's already 20 points right there. So the Jaguars have to make up the other 20, and then there you go, over 39.5.
Very doable there. But let's transfer over to Prize Picks. Let's get into some Saturday NFL player props. We're just going to take 1 to 3 props for the Saturday games. And Teats, I'll start with you.
I've got 2, and we've actually kind of already talked about one of them. It's actually going to be Derrick Henry over 91.5 rushing yards. That's a pretty big number and a big line, but when you have Derrick Henry as your running back, I don't think it really matters that much. As you can see, his last 3 games, over 100. He had a couple bad ones against Philly, Cincy, but you know what? He rebounded really well and has been on an absolute tear, even when his offense in general has been just completely gone. So I think that with the rest, I think that he's going to come out and he's going to finish off this season really strong, especially against an in-conference team, like a rival team. The other one I'm taking, it's going to be the Chiefs-Raiders game. I wanted to pick a Chief because why not? Last time I took a Chief, it didn't go very well, so I'm going with the big name. I'm taking Travis Kelce over 70.5 receiving yards. He honestly has been kind of hit or miss on his receiving yards. He has some really good games. He has some games where he's keyed on a little bit too much. And the game script is kind of written in a different direction, but I feel like he's going to have a pretty big bounce back game. Again, they're playing a conference rival with Las Vegas, and I feel like he hates Las Vegas more than most. So I feel like he's going to want to come out, ball out, and definitely put up some pretty big numbers to be one of the better tight ends in the league, if not the best.
I like it. 2 all-star players for your props on Saturday. I'm going to go ahead and go next. It's the last week of regular season, and I had numerous people send me a list of players who need certain things to reach a bonus. So that's what I'll be basing my picks off here. If you think players don't know where they stand with bonuses, you're crazy. They all try to help their teammates get paid. So my props this week are going to be bonus-based props with players close to getting paid. So my first prop on Saturday will be Christian Kirk over 59.5 receiving yards against the Titans. And I bet this number all the way up to 90.5 receiving yards because Kirk needs 91 yards to cash a $500,000 incentive for yards on the year. Mix that in with the Titans are the worst team in the NFL against the pass. So I'll take Kirk over 59.5 yards. My second prop will be Patrick Mahomes over 319.5 passing yards versus the Raiders. Raiders are 30th against the pass, and Mahomes needs 430 yards to break the NFL record for passing yards in the season. Not saying it's going to happen, but if he gets close at halftime, I guarantee you Andy Reid will give him a shot at it. So my 2 props are going to be Mahomes over passing and Kirk over receiving. Cam?
Yeah, I love the Mahomes passing pick. I have that as one of my 3. So I'm going to counter And Mahomes last week, there's a clip of him saying that they should have timed his 40 when he was running scared and somebody chasing him. I think he's getting chased a lot against the Raiders, as he normally does. I'm going to take his over rushing yards, which I believe is at 13.5.
Yep.
On there, 13.5?
Yep. I'm going to take his over. Is Crosby's playing, correct?
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. Mad Max will be coming after him. Oh, I'm so excited.
They had some beef, some face-to-face action the last time they matched up, and I think he's going to be running a lot from him on Saturday.
I'm right here.
For my second pick, I'm going to go another guy that needs a bonus. He's a Jaguar as well. I'm going to go Zay Jones over. I had it at 58.5. It might have changed now.
I think that's right.
52.5, even better.
Just going with him, Zay Jones?
Yep, Zay Jones and Patrick Mahomes. Those are my picks. Zay Jones needs the bonus, and Mahomes wants to live, so he's going to run.
I like him. Trey?
Oh, I hope Max Crosby absolutely demolishes him. So I'm going to kind of go, Bear does this every weekend. I'm going to kind of tail him on this. I'm going to give you guys two player prop picks, one for Saturday, one for Sunday. Combine them both and cash it out and enjoy a nice payday to end the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
First one I'm going to do is Derrick Henry. It's basically an anytime touchdown, pass, rushing, receiving over 0.5. This is as a sure bet as it can get if you base your picks off historical data. In Henry's last 7 games against the Jags, he's accumulated 13 touchdowns. That is absolutely absurd. Henry even scored a touchdown his past 3 games, so he's coming into this with the train moving. So I love this prop for him, and I expect him to get at least 30 carries tomorrow. He did not play at all last week, so he's coming into this game rested and ready to just, lower his shoulder into absolutely everybody. So I do love this prop. I do think he's going to get a touchdown. That's my only prop for Saturday, though, guys.
Yeah, Trey. Thanks for pointing that out because I'm gonna add that to my card. That's a lock. So I'm going with 3. I think we should just ride all together, Derrick Henry. But let's move on to Sunday's games. Ravens versus Bengals. Bengals are -9.5. The over/under is 39.5. The Bengals are coming off that horrifying scene on Monday night with Damar Hamlin's life hanging in the balance in that game. It was reported today that he can now fully breathe on his own, and that's some great news. We've never seen anything like that. At least I haven't in a game, and we are just glad that young man's alive. I did see somewhere, or actually someone told me that when Hamlin was able to communicate, the first thing he wrote down was who won the game. So that made me smile from ear to ear. All-time football guy moment for Damar Hamlin. So we are just happy he's alive and breathing on his own. But I'll let Trey start with this game.
That was an all-time football dude moment, and it's kind of something that's right out of the movie. So it like Bear said, it just puts a big smile right on your face. But Lamar Jackson is already ruled out for this game. Tyler Huntley has been questionable throughout the week, but he did come out today and say that he's going to be pushing to play on Sunday. But this line, I don't know, it's kind of fishy. I think Vegas expects them to be running out Anthony Brown, who would be the lone quarterback standing left to start for them. So I'm going to go with the Bengals here to absolutely crush the Ravens at -9.5. The trends are very good for this. The Bengals are 7-3 ATS in our last 10 games versus Baltimore. They're also 5-0 ATS in our last 5 home games. The Ravens, on the other hand, are 1-6 ATS in their last 7 versus the AFC North, and bad versus divisional opponents. And they're also 1-3-1 ATS versus a team with a winning record. Whenever they play somebody good, they get smacked and they just can't cover the game. So give me the Bengals here to win by double digits.
Yeah, I'm going to ride with you. Bengals -9.5. This game's not going to be close. Bengals by 20+. Cam?
If you want my lock for this, you're going to have to go to Bears Profit Plays. Post some article on there. If you're not signed up, if you're not a member already, I really don't know what you're doing. All we're doing is handing out free money over there. So head on to Bears Profit Plays. Get after it.
I'm going to definitely ride with the Bengals -9.5 in this contest. I don't think it really matters between Tyler Huntley or Anthony Brown, whoever's under center for the Ravens. They're going to have to run the rocks. That's really all they have. Their wide receivers are a joke. They do have Mark Andrews, but with their wide receivers being so beat up and banged up the entire season, they really only have a run game, and the Bengals are going to obliterate them.
All right, so we're all in the Bengals, and Cam has that protected pick on our website, bearsprofitplays.com. Let's move on to Browns versus Steelers. Pitt is -2.5. Over/under is set at 40.5. Teats starts off.
I felt like when Deshaun Watson finally got going he was going to make some big noise for the Cleveland Browns, and it has been the complete opposite. He has not looked like his former self in the slightest. So I'm going to go with the rookie. I'm going to go with the Steelers minus 2.5. I do want to say, I read something the other day where in like 256 games, who's the head coach for the Steelers real quick?
Come on, Mike Tomlin.
There we go. Thank you. The name slipped, but Mike Tomlin in 256 games coaching the Steelers has, I think, one single game played in an elimination game where he was eliminated from the playoffs or from making the playoffs. So I think that he is a very competitive coach. He has his players playing to win no matter who's on the field. And I don't think that the Cleveland Browns have it. So I'm taking the Steelers minus 2.5.
JR, you've lost your mind in the chat, bro. What's up, JR? Trey, go ahead and go.
Yeah, JR, you are a dog. The Steelers need to win this game for a chance for the playoffs, and also, like Teats said, to have another winning season under Tomlin. They've never had a losing season, so they're playing for two things in this matchup. The Browns have looked better, over the past couple of weeks, winning some games, but Deshaun Watson, like Teats said, is knocking off some rust game by game. But they're starting to implode from the inside out, the Browns are. They just sent home Jadeveon Clowney today. That's not a good sign for how their team outlook is. And, Clowney's not going to make a big impact on the game, but he's still starting for them. And if you're sending home starters before the season even ends, it just goes to show, what the locker room is currently feeling. So give me the Steelers here. I'm going to ride with Teats. The Steelers are 5-1 ATS in their last 6 games overall. They've been on a roll. They're also 5-0 ATS versus a team with a losing record. The Browns are 1-4 ATS in their last 5 games in Pittsburgh. And in this matchup, the home team is 7-3 ATS in their last 10 meetings. All those trends favor the Steelers. Give me Steelers to kind of I'm not going to necessarily say blow them out because the Steelers don't really know how to do that this season. But I do think that they're going to win by more than a field goal.
JR, you definitely did make a smile, but thank you for that. I'm going to go ahead and go next.
Big pop.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and go next here. My Pittsburgh Steelers have come so far. I don't even like the team, and I've been rooting for them all year. It's mainly because of Pickett and Pickens. I followed them in college, now to the pros, and it's great to see them fighting for a playoff spot in their first year. They are still in the playoff hunt. They need to win and some help, but I'm taking Pitt money line. They're just finding ways to win games down the stretch. When Pickett needs a drive at the end of the game, he's got it done. So I'm going to take the rookie quarterback to get it done again. Pitt money line in this game. Cam?
I'm going the exact opposite of you guys. Some of my favorite matchups to watch are the AFC North matchups. They're always good, I feel like, every single time. I think Deshaun Watson, it's more or less a prove-it game for him to show what he can do for the Browns. And I really think the Browns just like spoiling parties with Pittsburgh's slight chance to get into the playoffs. So I'm taking Browns money line.
All right. Thanks for taking that bullet so we don't sweep that game. Let's go
It's what I'm here for.
Yeah, thank you. Let's go to Rams versus Seahawks. Seahawks are -6. Over under is 41.5. I would love to sit here and say I think Seattle will lose because if they lose, the Lions get in with a win. And since I would love to do that, I'm going to do just that. I'm taking the Rams money line because I want that game to matter on Sunday night. Winning in for the Packers versus Lions on Sunday Night Football. That's what these people want. That's what everybody wants. It's must-watch TV. The scripters of the NFL know it, so I'm going to take the Rams money line. Trey?
This is actually, in my opinion, one of the better games of the weekend. It just has so many storylines. Geno needs this win for playoffs and to earn his big offseason contract. Baker needs this win to prove that he can stay in LA and back up Stafford or possibly start if Stafford retires. Sean McVay needs this win to shut up the haters because there have been rumors flying around today that I was hearing that he's retiring, heading into the booth, blah, blah, blah. So he needs the win to kind of shut them up and say, hey, you know what? I just won a Super Bowl last year. This team is not the team that I am. Like, come on, guys. So give me the Rams in this matchup +6. I'm not going to take the money line because the Seahawks are playing for a lot here. But the trends are not friendly for the Seahawks, guys. I'll tell you that. Seahawks are 1-6 ATS in their last 7 games overall. They're also 0-4 ATS in their last 4 games versus the NFC. And the Rams, on the other hand, are 4-0 ATS in their last 4 games versus Seahawks. Rams dominate Seahawks. This is a different Rams team, different Seahawks team. Same coaches. Give me Sean McVay.
Cam?
I've really liked this Seahawks team all year long. Kenneth Walker, I loved him in college. I was really hoping he was going to get Heisman. Didn't happen. I think they're going to go out and just dominate this Rams team. I think Geno's got a lot to prove if he wants to be their quarterback next year. And so, yeah, I'm all over Seahawks -6.
Teats?
See, I think that Geno's already proven that he can definitely be the quarterback for the Seahawks next year. The Seahawks have went through a lot of injuries, lots of banged up players, and Geno, he has been kind of on a consistent roller coaster, but when he's hot, he's hot. And I think that with a full season under his belt again, starting, I think that he will, pick it up from here on out. So I think that they can definitely trust him as a quarterback. However, I think that the Rams are going to absolutely destroy the Seahawks. I like the money line play, so I'm going to take, especially for the plus money. I love Baker. There's no reason for me to love Baker. I didn't like him that much when he was in college, but following him, he just is I don't care about what you think about me kind of guy, and I love it. It's just like an underdog story. And with the Rams also being completely injured, with Cooper Kupp out, any given time one of the running backs is injured, I would love for a little Cinderella story here for the Rams to knock off the Seahawks.
All right, so we're all split on that game, 2-2. Buddy Hield, Andrew says Buddy Hield sold today. Yeah, Buddy Hield didn't put up a lot of points, but our prop tonight was his under turnovers, and he had 0 on the night. So that did hit, but Buddy Hield did not score a lot of points today. I think he got hurt early in the first. He only played like 7 minutes in the first half, but let's move on to the best game of the night, if it is the best game of the night, if certain things happen. Lions versus Packers. Packers -4.5, over under 49. Trey, go ahead.
Man, this is tough. This is going to be a very electric game to watch. I just wish I could get, a live feed into the Lions locker room right before the game, because we all know that pregame speech is going to be amazing. It's going to be, I just wish that I could see it. But Rodgers needs to be Superman in this game. We all know that, because I do think the Lions offense is going to be rolling in this matchup, even though it is going to be in Green Bay. But give me the Lions here plus the points, plus 4.5. I mean, in my eyes, this game has a field goal written all over it. So give me the Lions here plus the points. The Lions are 8-1 ATS in their last 9 games overall. They're also 12-2 ATS in their last 14 versus the NFC North. That is a very staggering stat. And they're also 9-2 ATS in their last 11 games versus the Packers. I mean, Dan Campbell gets his boys fired up. They're going to be buzzing for this game. Aaron Rodgers, I think he's going to be a little tight going into this game, because he knows what's on the line. He knows that this might be his last game at Lambeau. We don't really know what he's going to be doing next year. So give me Lions here plus the points, Cinderella story.
Yeah, Trey, I couldn't agree more here. A couple things for this game, though. If Seattle wins the game before them, this game really doesn't matter for the Lions. They can't get in the playoffs. The second thing is Dan Campbell would throw you in front of a moving train if you told him this game doesn't matter. This game matters to the Lions regardless if they make the playoffs or not. They can knock out the Packers out of the playoffs. They can knock them out of the playoffs. That's incentive enough. And with a win, it would be their first winning season since 2017 for their franchise. The Lions are going to be ready regardless of the early outcome of the Seattle game. So I'm taking Lions plus 4.5 and the money line. Cam?
Yeah, I love the Lions. I've loved watching them all year long. I think it's going to be a relatively close game, with Rodgers, playoff hopes at Lambeau. Dan Campbell is a great coach, just like you said. This game matters.
Yeah.
Whether or not what happens, he wants to win. So I am right there with you. I'm taking Lions plus 4.5 and the money line.
Teats, take the bullet or no?
Dude, you know how it is. When you guys all decide to go on the same, I have to take a points. Okay. I'm taking over 49.5. I don't team right all the time. But as you can tell, I do go for over points all the time. I don't know if there really needs to be much said about this. Detroit Lions have one of the best, at least high-powered offenses in the league. And the Packers, I mean, they've definitely been a shell of themselves this season, but they've had some glimpses of being able to score. And if the Packers have been winning, they've been scoring. So I think the Packers, as long as the Lions can keep up, I think it's going to be a back-and-forth game. Aaron Rodgers is going to have to do whatever he has to do to try to win this game. But I also think that the Lions are going to want to ruin it. So lots of scoring is going to happen.
Yeah, scoring could definitely happen. Packers scored 41 last week, so they might want to keep that going. Let's move over to Prize Pick for Sunday NFL player props. Cody, what's up, man? How you doing? Brett says go Lions. Yes, Brett, let's go Lions. Teats, go ahead and start us off for props.
We can just back right up into that Lions and Packers game, because that's my first prop I have. I've got Jared Goff over 252.5 passing yards. I think that there could be a situation where the Lions get down kind of a little early, so they're going to have to rely on the pass quite a bit. I know that they did a really good job of kind of having a balanced run game, pass game, last game that they played. But Jared Goff has been pretty solid as a passer, as you can see. He's hit this mark 4 of the last 5, and he's averaging 306 over the 5-game span. I think that if they're going to win this game, he's going to have to put up the yards, maybe not the touchdowns, but definitely the yards, and let DeAndre Swift and Jamal Williams run it in on the goal line. So give me 252.5 over. The next one, we're going to bounce back to the Bengals game, and I really don't ever take this player, but I'm going to. Jamar Chase over 82.5 receiving yards. I feel like it's his time. He is a postseason playoff type of dude. We're right there. And with a lot of seeding kind of on the line with this last week matchup, I think that he's going to have himself a heyday, and he's going to go off. As you can see, 3 of the last 5 he's hit. He's averaging 97 in the last 5 games he's played, which includes 130 against Atlanta and 119 against Cleveland. But he also backs it up with 79 against New England and 60 against Tampa Bay. I feel like a lot of that goes on who is going to be the 1A to 1B receiver between him and Higgins. And I think that he's going to demand the football and definitely help out the Bengals with that win.
Yeah, I like those pick, Teats. I'm going to go ahead and go next year. Same trend for Sunday games for me, looking for a nice incentive bonus for players close to their number. I have 2 props for Sunday. My first prop is going to be JJ, Justin Jefferson, Jay Jettas, him, whatever you want to call him, over 90.5 receiving yards versus the Bears. The Vikings just got embarrassed by Green Bay, so this is going to be an ugly, ugly, ugly game for the Bears. JJ was held to 15 yards, and now he needs 194 yards to break the NFL record for single yards in a year. He's going to get that number. He's going to have 194 in this game. He's going to take over Calvin Johnson's 1,964-yard record for a single game. Kirk is going to throw to him 100 times if he has to, so I'm going to take Jay Jetta's over 90.5 receiving yards. My second prop will be Jamal Williams over 53.5 rushing yards. I don't think it's necessarily bad blood, but Green Bay did dish him off to the Lions. I know everybody loves Jamal Williams. He's a great teammate. I don't think he's offered yet on Prize Picks. He is offered on Action Network and some other sports books. This isn't as much of an incentive thing as I think the Lions would run all over the Packers thing. Williams needs 6 rushing yards to hit 1,000 yards on the year. That'll give him a nice $250,000 bonus. I think Williams is very underrated in the NFL, and he's going to have a good night against a 26th worst rushing defense in the NFL and the Packers. So Jamal Williams over his rushing and Jay Jettas over his receiving. Cam, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm going to go to the Browns and Steelers game. I expect Nick Chubb to have a big game in this one. I have his over at 70.5. You guys might have that something different. I see him having a big game. He has only found the end zone, I believe, twice since their bye week compared to before the bye week. I felt like he was scoring 2 or 3 times every single game. But 70 was a little low for me. I feel like I had him on my fantasy team. I felt like I was getting 9 points every time just off yards alone. So I'm going to take his 70.5. I feel pretty comfortable about that. And then I also have in the 49ers game a Brandon Ayuk anytime touchdown. Ayuk's been one of my favorite players to watch this year. I think he's done a great job, especially in the absence of Deebo Samuel. And I think he's just a reception machine, and he seems to find the end zone pretty much every time he needs to.
I love that pick. Trey?
Yeah, going back to Cam and the Nick Chubb point, I have Chubb on a lot of my fantasy teams, and yeah, you'd be like, damn, dude, he's doing good. He has 105 rushing yards, and then you look and he only has 10 points for you because he has 0 catches and 0 touchdowns. But, shout out Nick Chubb. But I'm going to go with a rushing prop myself, and you guys know me by now. You guys know I love the quarterback rushing unders, and I'm going to go with one of the best rushing quarterbacks in the NFL with Josh Allen, under 38.5 rushing yards. The last time he played the Patriots, December 1st, I threw out this prop. It hit. He only had 20 rushing yards. So I'm throwing it back because we all know Josh Allen's basically Superman, but he's going up against his kryptonite in Bill Belichick. He only had 20 rushing yards the last time that they played. The Patriots have been practicing all week on how they're going to be plugging the lanes and not allow Allen to get loose. And in my opinion, the most important thing to stop Josh Allen is team tackling. And that's something that the Patriots defense is elite at and one of the best in the league. So give me the under for Josh Allen at 38.5 rushing yards. I think that it's going to be a kind of struggling, slow game for the Bills, honestly. So give me under 38.5.
All right, those are player props for Sunday. Let's get into the last 2 segments. We got to go quick because my laptop's about to die. I don't want to die on the live stream here, but we have dog of the weekend. Each of us choose our favorite underdog pick that we think will win outright. The bigger the underdog, the more points you get. Teats, start us off.
The LA Rams, man. They're going to take down the Seahawks. They're going to ruin Geno's season, make them look at the next year, and Baker's going to solidify himself in LA for at least one more year.
Love it. Trey?
Titans plus 6.5. I read off all the trends earlier. If you want to see it, just go to that game pick. They're going to be dominating the Jags.
Cam?
Yeah, I mean, all over the lines this weekend. I see them wanting to crush Aaron Rodgers, and I think they're going to go into Lambeau and get it done.
Mine's going to be Giants plus 14 for obvious reasons. Go Cowboys. I hate the Eagles. I don't care. Giants won't have their starters. I don't care. Eagles are going to lose that game. Let's move on to the parlay lock, last segment of the night. Trey, start us off.
Broncos minus 2.5. The Chargers, in my opinion, are probably going to be resting their starters for the majority of the game, if not the full game, because there's a zero chance the Broncos should be favored. Broncos going to be dominating the Chargers backups. Give me Broncos minus 2.5.
Teats?
Chiefs Raiders over 52.5. We talked about it earlier. I feel like it's gonna be a high scoring game. Jarrett Stidham has definitely made himself known in the league at this point, and Patrick Mahomes has that dog in him. Let's see what we do.
Cam?
Yeah, again, Raiders plus 9.5. Chiefs can't really cover to save their lives, and it seems like every AFC West team plays their best game against the Chiefs every time. I see it being close.
Yeah, and I'm going Lions money line here. Dan Campbell might start this game with a concussion. It would not surprise me one little bit if he let his team out of the tunnel running through a brick wall. This team is motivated at the end of the season to go above 500 and potentially have a win to get in the playoffs. They're going to go into Green Bay and end Rodgers' career on Sunday night. And hopefully they start their planning for the playoffs next week. So that is the podcast parlay. Cody says he's sweating the CJ McCollum under 11.5 rebounds and assists. That game's getting close, so we're going to hop off here and watch it. But that'll do it for our props, picks, and predictions for this weekend slated games. If you guys enjoyed the content, please be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel below. We see you guys next video, and thanks for watching.